Warning, if you've got small children that you normally watch this channel with, send them out of the room. This video is not for them. Cheaters, bigots, and whiny ass boomers and Gen Xers. That's the subject of today's video. I generally start my YouTube videos with welcome to the Fishing with Gramps YouTube, yada, yada, yada. Today I'm coming to you as JT, a pissed off bass fan. Cheaters, bigot, and whiners. What the hell is wrong with our community? Let's start off with a cheater. Curtis McCreary, Indianapolis, Indiana. Had to go fish a kayak tournament this weekend, catching fish, putting them back on a stringer, dragging them around with him, and then trying to submit them again as if he caught a smaller fish in a different location. What is wrong with people that they have to cheat to win? This is a local kayak tournament. It's not big money. It's more for fun than anything else. Why on earth would you be such a dumbass to try to cheat in a freaking kayak tournament, let alone a little bitty one? Why, dude? Why? Seriously? It's one thing when, people talk about, oh, high super technology and I can't compete with the forward facing. This was on a body of water that doesn't even allow electric motors. You have to paddle or pedal. And you feel like you have to cheat in a local kayak tournament? What the hell, dude? Seriously? What is wrong with somebody that you think you have to cheat? I mean, your whole reputation, if you had any. But again, now we know why KBF instituted the catch, photo, video release of fish. Just so shit like this couldn't happen. We take their picture, we take a short video from the board to the water, let the fish go, back to the board, not a problem. But this moron is catching a fish, submitting it, and then throwing it back in the water tied to his kayak and dragging it around for several hours so he can pull it out in a different spot on the lake and then try to submit the same fish again, putting it in a 1/4 inch smaller, like the tournament directors are stupid and wouldn't notice it's the same fish. Really, dude? You're a moron. I hope every bass club, boater, and kayak across the nation sees this, and Curtis McCreary will never fish again in this damn state. And I hope that Grubby turns his ass in to the Department of Natural Resources. This clown needs to be called out for who he is, what he is, and exposed and never fish in any event again. Now let's move on and talk about bigots. I was down at the Bassmaster Classic last week cheering on a bunch of friends of mine who were fishing in the kayak series, Bassmaster Championship, plus a bunch of the boaters that I know. We had a local here from Indiana that went and fished in the Classic. I'm a Bass Live fan. I love bass. Well, at least I have. But they did a segment with Zona had Deion Sanders on. And when you go into the comments on Facebook and read the moronic statement from a lot of these, I hate to say it, bigots. There's no other word for it. I don't think you're a fucking racist. I just think you're ignorant as fuck. But some of the comments, what does this have to do with bass fishing? Well, if you were an actual fan of bass fishing and, sports overall, you would know Deion Sanders learned how to fish from his late stepfather as a form of relaxation and has been bass fishing himself for quite some time and is even known to take his sons and ball players out bass fishing with him. I also have seen similar comments when Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson posts that he goes bass fishing too, and as if bass fishing belongs to some political party that you can't just enjoy the fact that some dude, whether you agree with his politics or not, you have to shit on him because you don't like his politics, but he still goes bass fishing. What the hell's wrong with you people? Put your damn politics aside. Really? That's where you take this shit? Is going and bashing on somebody because you don't believe in their politics? You people drive me absolutely insane. But I'll tell you what, the derogatory remarks I saw against Deion Sanders on the Bass live streams, absolutely just idiotic. You people suck. And I mean, you suck. Educate yourselves and understand that there's more than just plain old white guys who go fishing all the time. A lot of people go fishing for therapy. That's why I do it. But now I'm all riled up making stupid ass videos like this because of your ignorant, dumb ass. Oh, you people kill me. And speaking of people who kill me, you whiny ass Gen Xers and boomers who can't stand it. Let me ask you this. Where was all your bitching, whining, and crying over side imaging when KVD came on the scene in his 20s and kicked the ever-loving shit out of everyone who was your Denny Browers, your old school guys? Where was you crying and complaining back then? Now you're making noise? Now that he's the old fart and young kids like Trey McKinney or Justin Hamner comes along and wins the Classic last year, or this year when Easton wins it, you guys are a bunch of freaking idiots. You're crying over a device that costs less than the iPhone that you're probably using to submit a bunch of bullshit comments. Let me ask you this. If the pros that you worship so much are so damn good off their natural instincts and abilities, then why can't they take a tool and be that much more deadly on the water? Explain that one to me. Why is it they have all of God's gifts and abilities to put themselves where fish are, then to be able to take this tool and become that much better? Have you ever thought about that? You people drive me absolutely insane with your moronic comments in support of asshats like Randy Blockett. I overheard some old school bass heads at the Classic whining about forward facing again and how another Classic was going to be won with it. If you're so good at your sport, you have access to Humminbird, to Lowrance, to Garmin, the people who sponsor the graphs that are already on your boat. If you have access to the engineers that designed that technology, you have access to shit that we regular people don't. Why aren't you the best in the world at it with your already given abilities to be able to catch fish? Why are you not just that much better because you have access to the people that design this stuff? Because you're too lazy to put the time and work in? Are you entitled? Now that you're at the top of the mountain, you don't have to continue to work. You made the Elite Series and you're already there. You should just be able to go fish and deer hunt and do whatever you want in the off season while these young kids are out there beating your ass. That's your fault, not some $1,500 transducer that anybody that could afford if they wanted to. You've got the biggest screens. You've got the $80,000 trucks. You've got the $110,000 boats, biggest motors, biggest graphs, but you're going to whine over a $1,500 forward-facing unit that you're too lazy to go learn how to use? Shut up. Seriously, I can't. I can't with this sport anymore. But I gave myself one video this year to tell all of you haters out there, you bigots, you cheaters, and you old fart crybabies, shut the fuck up. From the rest of us who just want to go fish and enjoy our lives and time on the water. And that's what I'm going to do from now on because you people suck. That's all I got to say.